Alright, what's up YouTube? So, real quick, I'm gonna head over to Paul, and everybody's asking how Paul's doing, so we're gonna find out, and then we're gonna see what he's up to in the garden today, and then I'll quickly walk you around the farm and show you, or give you an update on everything. There's actually been a lot that's happened in the last week, so that'll be pretty cool to show you. Alright, Paul, everybody's been asking how you're doing. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. What are you up to?
Well, I just finished planting a row of kale, and then over here was green beans and cucumbers and cilantro and more cucumbers and then corn.
Nice. So it looks like your rows are closer together this year.
Yeah, they are. I used to plant my rows 3 feet apart because that was the thickness of the rototiller, so I can get in between the rototiller and the weed. I thought, that's a lot of space. I could easily, weed and maintain it in a space like this. This year I cut it down to it's
It's like 1.5 rake heads.
1.5 rake heads. It's like it's like a half a rake that head, less than what it's been. You can see the distance right there.
Yeah.
So I'm able to get more stuff in my garden.
That'll be cool. So once the kale goes, you'll plant this section, and then that'll be pretty much everything planted so far. Here, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit on that side.
Yeah, that's right.
But I wait. When I start eating lettuce and spinach and cilantro, as soon as it's big enough, I plant the next row. So I always have it coming, consecutively.
Succession
So I
planting.
always have it, always there.
Nice.
But right now, this is the most amazing time of year for the kale.
Oh, I know.
This stuff here is so nutritious, so good for you, man. I just snack on this all day long. It's so good.
It's the best way to eat it. It's kale rapini, or the kale florets. What do you think, Willow, as you walk through all the rows like a pain in the butt? You did that in my last video. Everybody thought it was cute, besides me. Little turd. Yeah, it's gonna look so cool with closer rows this year.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more, volume.
Yeah.
You can see over here, you can see what's coming up. That's kind of the thickness.
Yeah. So this is like all like new greens that you haven't done.
It's all like on greens and just a lot of
Uh-huh. I don't know if you guys could hear him, but he said there's a lot of Asian greens and just different greens he hasn't done before. So that'll be cool. What do you think, Willow? Trees are starting to leaf out. They're gonna start budding in probably a week or two. Little buds are starting to swell on them. Got a lot transplanted in the orchard. Garlic's growing pretty good. It's under an apple tree. There's sugar snap peas under that pear tree. I'm actually standing on potatoes. They haven't come up yet. Bunch of cabbage under there. There's stuff all over the place. It's hard to see right now because of the lighting and then because of the size of the plants. Everybody's still pretty small. Let's see. So, right in Willow's shadow. But I've got a ton of stuff already transplanted out. I've got a ton of stuff in the greenhouse that I'm going to be transplanting out today or this evening, and then throughout the week. Oh, check that out. Let's see, hold on. Where are ya? There you are. That is one of the first asparagus of the season. Sweet. It's a purple passion, self-seeded from a bird. Must have ate a berry in the row over there and then sat on a branch and pooped it out right there. I love asparagus, it's so good. Let's see, we got kind of around half of this under the tree or whatever There's Hawkeye turnips, multi-sown plugs, and there's like 2 little strips. It's really hard to see right now. There's like 2 strips of it over here. Then I planted a ton. There's probably, I don't even know, maybe 100, maybe not that much. I don't know, we'll just go with a ton of kale plants under this Gravenstein, which is really close to the barn. And that's so all summer long I'll just let this grow. I'll harvest the leaves as they start to look a little rough, but try not to harvest as much. And then this will all be like rabbit food for the winter. So I want the plants to just get really big, really full. That way come winter they've still got a lot of green vegetation on them. And then it's just real close and quick to harvest what I need for the rabbits. Walk it around, feed them, then I'm done. Instead of going on a scavenger hunt throughout the orchard. But there's a ton of stuff planted out there. Like I said, it's just too hard to show you right now. In a few weeks, once everything's bigger, it'll be a lot better. But the multi-sown radishes interplanted in the onions, they're doing great. They're starting to fill up now. The bed of spinach is looking good. Carrots are just starting to peek out of the ground, which is awesome. The Tokyo Bacana Asian greens are doing good. As a rosy red pak choi, or it might be a bok choy, I don't know, forget. I'm going to plant this bed with more carrots, and then that's a bed of kohlrabi, and then those 3 beds are unplanted yet. And then what do we got over here? Bed of spinach, mizuna, arugula, and then I'm not sure if in the last video I talked about it or not, but let's see, real quick, check this out. Cherry trees blooming. This is actually a graft that I did last spring. So that took and did really good. I think we've got some more grafts over here. This one's just starting to bloom right there, but here's another graft. There's all sorts of grafts in this tree. Pretty cool. Anyways, the chips are a little dry looking, but you can kind of see the beds. This one, and that one over there. They were planted. I haven't planted that one with anything yet. But we've got, this bed is wheat, an old heirloom wheat. And then both of these are, I think, 2 different types of rye. I'm really not sure about the one over there, but got wheat and rye here. I'm pretty sure that one's a rye, but whatever. Anyways, they'll be fun little experiments, see how they do. And then once the wheat and everything is harvestable, I'll harvest it, thrash it, and I think we'll save some seed. And then I'm not sure though. I don't know if wheat and rye can cross-pollinate with each other. I don't really know much about grains, so we'll see. I don't know. I just have to do some research. Not that important right now. I can always get more seed next year if we really want to do it, and then we'll stick to whatever does best, or what we use most of. But they're just starting to peek up out of the ground, which is cool. Just look at the orchard one last time. I guess next week's video you might see it too, but everything looks pretty bare right now. And in just a couple weeks, it's all going to be green, and there's going to be a ton of plants, ton of food, and a lot of fun. Quick update on the greenhouse hanging baskets. I had a lot of questions about the hanging baskets. I'm gonna actually, well, let's first talk about the basket, I guess. I stuck a bunch of creeping Jenny cuttings. Paul's got a big creeping Jenny patch just in the ground over closer to the house, and so I took some cuttings of those. They're all perking up, doing good, means they've rooted. Then I've got petunias in here. I've got 3 petunias in each basket. We've got a red one, white one, and a blue one. red, white, and blue because I'm dorky like that, but whatever. I like it. It's gonna look really good. And then I've got a spike grass in the center of all of them. I'll show you. So you can see there's brackets up there. I'll have 3 on this side and then 1 on the door, or like next to the door around the barn. So they'll look good once they're all full, and you guys will see that throughout the season. Real quick on the lettuce that I pricked out in that video, not last video, but the video before. So I think I waited a tad too long, just a few days will really kind of screw you over. I think I waited a little long to prick them out. I was pretty busy that week, but whatever. It is what it is. I also think the seed starting mix, or the potting soil mix, or whatever I used, probably isn't the best mix for pricking stuff into, but that's the fun thing about gardening. It's just all experiments. You can see some stuff is doing good, others not so much. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's those guys. I think maybe in a couple weeks I'll give them a shot of like some of my fish emulsion, or some of the fermented blood and stuff that I use, and we'll see if they perk up, because some of it looks like it might even be a nitrogen deficiency. But then comparing all of my other trays of stuff, like this is the exact same soil from the same batch of soil. I mean, this is spinach, but it's like, it looks amazing. Like everything looks great. Root systems are beautiful. But this is all getting transplanted tonight. Got some sun gold tomatoes. I picked those up from a friend of ours in Squim. She grew them. I didn't really want to waste time dealing with tomatoes in here because I need the space for other stuff that's more important. Some little squash seeds that are washed up and out. Oh, it's upside down. There we go. Just kind of tuck those guys back in there. They need to stay in there so they can germinate. Anyway, so we've got squash, 2 trays of, well, let's see, hold on. Got a tray of cucumbers and a tray of squash, different types of squash. Paul wanted me to start some artichokes for him, so one of those little guys just showed up today. So they'll all start coming up here in a couple days. It's a tray of different types of sunflowers, and then this is just a tray of mixed multi-sun zinnias. Then we've got a tray of bunching onion that needs to go out too. Oh, and then the fig cuttings, and everybody in there is doing good. So real quick, go to the other greenhouse. Alright, so I've got a lot of the stuff transplanted out already, but there's still a lot that still needs to be transplanted out. Yeah, it's pretty much the same stuff that you guys saw in the last video. I don't know if all the new trays of lettuce were in the last video, but there's more trays of lettuce on that back bench. But let's see, hold on. Got some mustard greens. We've got that's Chinese cabbage. That's pak choi. I should move the Chinese cabbage with the other Chinese cabbage, but doesn't matter. What is this? Oh, this is a purple tot soy. That stuff looks really good. I love the contrast of the tops and bottoms of the leaves. It looks really good. Then a whole mess of beets. They're going to be transplanted out in probably a week. What is that? I don't remember. Oh, that's more mustard. I think it's a giant mustard. More bunching onions. Mizuna. I think that's another Asian green. Different type of spinach. Some kohlrabi bunching onion. We've got celery, fennel, dill. All that stuff's coming up. Willow. Or crackhead, that's your nickname. Go Willow, watch out. Let me get out of here. It's hot. And then the chicks that I had in the barn, in that brooder, I evicted them. They are now in a chicken tractor back there, hiding in the shade. It's nice and warm out. And you've got Tova that's not supposed to be digging holes. Tova. Tova. Stop shaking your tail. You're in trouble. Come on. Come on. Let's go. That dog. Pain in the butt. She dug a hole earlier. All the little chicks got out of the hole and were running all over the pasture. It's like a bunch of roaches in a Chinese food restaurant. It was just everywhere. It was a mess. Yeah. This girl right here, she's my little miracle rabbit. So, hold on, let me turn this camera. The other day, she had a stillborn on the wire. She didn't make a nest. And I came out here, I was like, oh no. She was supposed to deliver that night, but it was just the one stillborn. I found it. Don't chew on me. Sorry. I found the stillborn, took it out. She was fine. There's just this little tiny puddle of blood over here. That's pretty much normal. Or maybe not normal, but it's really common when they have babies. Anyways, went and fed the chickens that morning. Came back maybe 20 minutes later. And she had hemorrhage. There's blood everywhere. Not up there because you'd see it still, but literally the whole tray was just blood. Like thick, goopy, coagulated blood. And I was freaking out because that was more blood than a rabbit her size should even have. And so first thing I did was I ran, grabbed a huge handful of yarrow out of the yarrow patch in the orchard, fed her that. She like wolfed it down so fast. And then after that I drove into town, went foraging for a huge, like giant bunch. There was probably 1.5 pounds of shepherd's purse that had actually overwintered, and there was still a lot of green on it. There was some dried branches in it, so it was a big mix of stuff, and just filled her cage full of the shepherd's purse, and that like stopped the hemorrhage. I'm pretty sure it was an internal hemorrhage because there was nothing on the outside of her. The placenta passed and it was fine. I have no idea what the heck happened with this rabbit. I was talking to... Oh, hold on. I don't know what just happened. The gimbal just kind of like tweaked out. It just went all... So, anyways, I was talking to my rabbit breeder friends, and they were like, whoa, we've never had that happen. Like, that's crazy. So, anyways, put the shepherd's purse in there the next day. She was doing great. The next night, she gave birth to 7 more babies. So she's like my little miracle rabbit. She's cool. And she really wasn't that friendly, like, before all of this. But now, like, after I gave her all the shepherd's purse and everything, I think she knew that I was trying to help her. And now she's all sweet and nice. But, let's see. Hold on. Come on. She had 7 little black bunnies. Cute little guys. They're getting big though. They were like 1/3 of this size just a few days ago. So, anyways, gonna put them back in there. This girl, her 4 are getting huge. They are, I think they're less than 2, or a little over 2 weeks, not less than. Look at those goofy things. Hanging out in the food bowl. But they're getting big. This is the only black-eyed white one, like the mama. She's so funny. She's got this giant dewlap on her. I feel like a grandma when I come over here and I just like squeeze her cheek. She doesn't mind though. Then this girl, she had 10 originally, and then we're left with 7. One of them was the runt. That one didn't make it past a few days, and then the other ones mysteriously disappeared at like a week old, so I was kind of shocked. But anyways, who knows what happened. This little guy, or girl, whatever it is, I love him. He's got completely... Hold on, I'm going to turn the camera. He's got... Hopefully you can see this. He's got completely different fur, or she, it, whatever, It hasn't decided its gender yet. Just kidding, that doesn't happen. Sorry, but that's just how it goes on the farm. You only have 2 options. There you go. That rabbit's just awesome. I love its fur. It's completely different than all the other fur on the rabbits. And then the color's just completely different. And it's got some personality like its mom. So I like it. Anyways, bunch of babies. And then old Reba. Reba's not even old, but hopefully she's pregnant. Mr. Bojangles would be the dad. So we'll see in, I think on the 20-something. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully. Let me lock these up and I'll come back. Alright, sorry the barn's a little bit of a mess right now. But clean this brooder out. Have the chicks that are in the chicken tractor. They were in here, so I've actually got some chicks on the porch that just hatched out a week ago that I haven't sold yet. But, well, I have sold them, but I'm holding them for a little bit for the lady. So they'll go in here. Also got chicks that just hatched out yesterday and today, so they'll go in there too. Let's see. Shout out to my friend Masilla from not growing your greens. Oops, don't hit me. That's like John Kohler or something. Learn to grow. There we go. Now we're thinking. These guys, these 3 are Egyptian walking onions. I had a bunch in the orchard last year, and then I saved all the bulbs that were on the floret at the top, and the sheep ate the whole bucket of them. Little turds, I was so mad. Then this is a bay laurel cutting that she made, and so I'm gonna get that planted soon, so that's exciting. Alright, so it's kind of funny. As soon as I walk up here, or climb up here into the loft to show you all the meat birds, Paul pulled the plug on the extension cord that gets run out to the barn for their heat lamp, because when the irrigation system's on, it's like too much coming on that wire, so we just unplugged the plug. Meat birds are fine. It's only for a few minutes. But anyways, I was gonna show you this with the lights on, but I guess it's probably easier to see like this. So it works out. Meat birds, I don't think I even mentioned them in the last 2 videos. They're about 2 weeks old now. I think they came on the 31st. So yeah, 2 weeks old. Anyways, there are, I don't even remember, probably close to 130, something like that. In a week and a half or so, depending on the weather, I'll get them evicted from the brooder and then moved out on pasture, and then they'll be, oh gosh, I've still got to convert the other chicken tractor or build like a different type of chicken tractor for them, because I'm going to raise them differently this year, so I'll bring you guys along for that. Still raising them on pasture, just in more of a free range setup. I like that better than the chicken tractors. The chicken tractors are great for when you're raising like chicks and pullets and small batches of meat birds. That's the best way to do it, but I just wanted to do it a little different. I changed it halfway through the season last year, and I really liked how it came out. Let's see, hold on. And I really like how the birds did. I liked how they were interacting better on the grass and stuff. And so you just learn as you go and adapt and make things better, and that's farming. That's true farming, at least. Shouldn't always get stuck in your ways and just do them one way just because that's the way you do it, and there's no change in anything. So it's cool to change. That's good. Don't forget that. Keep that in mind. Anyways, when I first got them, it was extremely cold. It was like 20-something degrees for a week every night. Sorry. And so I lost a few of them. I lost about 10 of them. And then the feed store in town, it was right before Easter actually. The feed store in town had 30 of them. I went in, and only because I wanted to replace the 10 that I had just lost. And I was going to replace them with Freedom Rangers, and they had 14, so I bought all 14 of them. And then the manager walks up, and they're like, hey, do you want any Cornish? I'm like, no, I've got close to 100 of them in the barn right now. And he's like, oh, come on, I'll make you a deal. And I was like, well, what's the deal? And he said, 50 cents a bird. And I said, all right, put all the birds in a box. And I took them all. So now I've got 130 of them. And they're all doing good. I haven't lost a bird since. And they're getting good size. You can see a little quail in there. There should still be a dozen of them. They're starting to get flighty, so I hope none of them like hopped out. Normally, during the day, I leave it open like this to get good airflow. But at night, being that it's up in the loft, it's higher above the ground, the wind blows. You can see in the side of the barn, there's just a lot of draft in here. So I've got a canvas tarp, and I've got it set up to where there's corrugated tin under here. The heat lamps are right on the other side of it, so heat lamp can't overheat anything. It's good. That holds all the heat in there, blocks all the draft. The chicks are good. And then in the morning, I just go and I just flop the tarp canvas thing over, and then they're good. So there's that. I'm excited about the meat birds. I always love raising meat birds. Everybody that well, let's say most of my birds here are sold. Saved about 20 of them for myself since I never get to have any of my own birds. Yeah, I try to feed the community before myself, apparently. So I'm excited to have my own. I'm excited that I've got birds again. Well, I guess I've always had birds, but meat birds again because they're always fun. And then I'm also going to be teaching another processing class. I didn't really talk about that last year, but I hosted a processing class. I think I had 5 or 6 people, or a couple of them are couples, but they all came out, and they all were like getting on my case saying like, next year you better do this class again. There's so many people that are going to love it. They all loved it, and they all went home with a bird that they processed, and it was a really good experience for everybody. I really like teaching, so it just worked out great. I didn't put my processing video, or I didn't put a video clip of my processing setup in any of the videos last year, but this year. Okay, well, I have no idea where that video got cut off. I had the little view thingy flipped around, so I couldn't see that the camera was telling me that it automatically cut off. Apparently I talked too much, so I guess with the meat birds, I talked about my processing setup. I talked about the processing class that I do. I did that last year. I'm going to plan on doing it this year, probably 2 times. So if any of you are interested and you're going to be in the swim area while I'm processing, let me know ahead of time. It's going to be probably mid to late June, so just kind of think about that. Message me, email me, whatever. Get in contact with me, and I'll tell you the prices, what I charge for the classes, and yeah, maybe you can come out. And then everybody goes home with one of the birds that they process, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I don't really know what happened there. So I'm gonna go downstairs now. Oh well. Alright, so it's really windy, so hopefully it's not affecting the mic too much, but I wanted to give the pasture all over here a break before the meat birds go out. So I talked to the neighbor. The neighbors are actually extremely busy, so they don't really have time to keep up on cutting their grass, but they really like keeping their grass cut. So I told them, well, I need to give the pasture a break. You guys need extra time, so can I move my chickens through your grass? And now they're over here. Chickens are all happy. Everybody's doing really good. The turkeys are actually playing in the plum tree over there. They're in the evening, not right now, but yeah, it's working out really good. In like a week or 2, I'll move them under these cedar trees over here, and then kind of just keep working them through the property to stay on top of their grass for them, and then that'll give the grass in the pasture to get some good growth on it. It's starting to grow now, but sheep are keeping up with it for right now. But in a month or so, it'll outgrow the sheep, and the meat birds will be on it. My flock will probably be back on it, and they'll be doing good. I don't know if you can see that, but there's 5 rows of kale planted out here. That's all that's planted over here so far. This is going to be my overflow gardens. I'm going to fill the orchard up first, fill my main garden over by the barn up first, and then like that'll be like all of the next succession's plantings will go out there. But Tova's still trying to get the chicks. Come on, Tova. Come on. Come on. I'll give you a quail egg if you come. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Gotta bribe them. So bad. Whoops, sorry. Are you gonna leave the chicks alone? Huh? You gonna leave the chicks alone? You better, Willow. Go on, jump up. Get it. Use manners. Good girl. Okay. Happy gardening, happy farming, happy market gardening, happy pastured poultry raising, happy rabbit raising, happy being busy. It's spring. I'm gonna get back to work. So, God bless, and have fun doing whatever you're doing. Okay, bye.